This video chart presentation of TWER Corp. It's a NASDAQ listed stock trading our ticker TWER. You can see TWER down over the last year, but its last three lows are moving progressively higher, and really with some pretty nice bounces in between, doubling on this last move from June to July, before slipping back down to make a new higher low at 220. It's back on the climb. What caught my eye was after this recent move to 288, that was followed by a consolidation that held the uptrend. Now I want to keep an eye on this and see if it's going to continue this move after the retrace and take out this high, possibly go up here and challenge these old highs at 322. That's a pretty nice look to the MACD, moving upward, breaking back above zero, showing a bullish trend. It's flattened out right now, which is a bit of a concern, showing some deceleration in the trend. But again, that comes at the time when the stock price was consolidating. So now I'm going to look for another move upward to continue that upward channel of the MACD and hold it over top of zero. I think it's interesting to note, each one of those bounces came off a pincher type formation. Negative DI up high, ADX up high, PPO coming down low. You can see the 1, 2, 3 bounces that the stock price has made. Right now the ADX has cooled off, it's back down around 20, but it's leaning towards the bullish side of things with this positive DI moving upward. And now I'd look for a rotation of the ADX and start to add some strength to the direction. Money flow index, 7 dropped off, making a sharp move back up. That's typically what happens. All three components right around 50. Again, pretty neutral reading, which while it's neutral, at this point I'd interpret that as an end to that bearish pressure and the sell-off in the stock. Accumulation distribution slid off since highs, nothing too dramatic. Kind of coming through and making some higher lows right now. Perhaps establishing an upward channel, signaling that there's accumulation starting to happen in this play again. That's reinforced by the Chaikin money flow being in the green, saying over the last 20 periods, buying pressure is outweighing selling pressure. CCI is holding the upper half of the indicator. Tells me the price is trading above its 20-day mean. Of course, the official buy signal comes on the break of 100, and it's a hold until it breaks back down through 100. Full stow, holding around 50. So what we always want to see is holding the upper half of the indicator. This does need to start to make a move, put a little bit of distance between 50, start getting closer to 80 to show that there's stronger momentum in the play. And similar to the MACD, the TRIX is flattening. That's a bit of a concern because it's showing deceleration in the bullish trend. But on the whole, I just want to see it holding over top of zero and continuing on its upward path to show bullishness to the overall trend of the chart. RSIs, this is pretty nice coming off the bottom. You see it's just something along those lines. Upward trend, showing that the momentum has been building in the chart and holding over 50, a key factor in showing that bullish momentum is being sustained. So the indicators are in pretty nice positions after this retrace. I like the fact the stock price has pushed its way back over top of this 200-day moving average. And with that, of course, it's holding over top of the 50-day down here around 250. And it's important because you always want to see the stock price holding over top of the 50 and 200-day moving averages, because inevitably what's going to happen is they're going to curl and start to roll upward. And those are signs of truly bullish charts where the 200 and 50-day moving averages are both trending upward and the price per share is holding over top of those MAs. Now, I'll go ahead and identify a support point, say right in this area of $2.60. See, that's actually about $2.58. And I'm not really jumping up and down if I see this pull back to there, because the stock price is slipping below the 200-day. And I actually see a little bit more support from a historic standpoint, right around $2.70, which is ideally what I'd like to see the stock price hold to continue this move off of the bottom in the upward trend that's established since the beginning part of September. So I'd have my eye on 270 with the understanding that there is a little bit stronger static support down at 258. Anything below that, I'm becoming skeptical. There's not a great deal of support in sight. Picks up a little bit down here around $2.40, some more down at 230. And you're talking about bottoms 220, the old lows at 211, then 206. But the point being with this is holding this upward trend, and if the stock price starts to fall and it breaks through 260, the chart takes on a whole different look and loses some of this bullish feel it has going on right now. Now what I'd look for from a resistance standpoint, in the very short term over the last week, you'd see the closing price of 274 has been a tough point for it to close above. That'll present the smallest amount of resistance, but I'm not that worried about that. I want to see how this performs if it can go up and challenge 285 and try and blow through these old closing prices, because if it does, I think the odds are really strong it's going to come back up here around $3.20 and challenge those old highs. Volume's not too bad in this play, 283,000 shares traded on Thursday. Little bit of an uptick over previous days, but running right about average for the last 3 months. Of course, the bigger the volume to break through this resistance point, the better. But regardless if it breaks through on low volume or breaks through on huge volume, if it pulls back, I want to see it hold that point as a new support point. That's classic TA, resistance that's broken becomes support. That would help support the idea that this upward channel is going to continue and lend to the idea that it's going to challenge this resistance up around 320. Interesting little chart, a lot going on technically, but it's one worth keeping an eye on to see if it can continue to hold over top of this 200-day moving average and make the next progression and this move off the bottom at 220. And those are the type of things that I'll be looking for in the TWER chart. But as always, it's merely my interpretation. Thank you for watching. Trade smart.